Hello everybody, and welcome to the Daily Planets edition of Athena's Web. Today we're looking once again at the weekend for you, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 1, 2, and 3 of May 2015. Well, this is really a weekend that bounces back and forth. Our May Day festivities end on a good note tonight, a little before 11 o'clock, as Mercury quintiles the planet Jupiter. That says that communications and logic, what we're thinking about, who we're contacting, are all turning out fairly well. But there's a bit of a lunar back and forth going on between 5 and 10:30, leading into that positive alignment. So our moods are swinging all over the place while we are getting some good communication, is how we interpret the two of those. A square to Pluto, sesquiquadrate to Mercury, contraparallel in opposition to Uranus, and a semi-square to Saturn all occur between 5 and 10:30 in the PM. And so Friday evening is going to be rather charged. It may not be charged in quite the way we would like to have it be, though. The morning is looking pretty good at 10:30 and just about 1 o'clock. The moon parallels Mars and sextiles Jupiter. We're energized. We're a little more enthusiastic. We've got some vim and vigor. Circumstances make us feel relatively focused. All of that Friday, May Day of 2015. On Saturday, we've got an extended void of course moon period from 10 in the morning until basically 10 in the evening. 8:30, we're feeling a little pushed, or are being pushy, as the moon inconjuncts the planet Mars. There's emotional aggravants. We're shooting from the hip, playing from our gut, and it's not quite the appropriate response at that time. At 10 o'clock, we're feeling much better as the moon trines the planet Venus. Things are going along more smoothly. Compare an hour and a half difference here between 8:30 and 10 o'clock and see how you feel about these celestial alignments. Through the void of course moon period between 1 and 3:30 this afternoon, things are going fairly well. Again, we may not be very focused in what it is that we're doing, but the mood is a pleasant one. We're being gently carried along in an enjoyable current that we find relatively pleasant. This evening, about 10 o'clock, the moon enters the sign Scorpio, and over the next couple of days will be making its way through that sign. Good for diligence, good for focus. There's a sensuality that goes on with the moon in Scorpio, but can be a little bit controlling, can be a little manipulative, and you'll have to watch the aspects as they make their way through Sunday, and that'll tell you which of those two options are available at any given time. Once again, feeling a little tired, possibly because we stayed up into the evening, Saturday evening, Sunday morning. Feeling a little tired as we get up on Sunday morning. The early afternoon is some of the most pleasant, between 1, 4, and 4 o'clock. Parallel to Venus, parallel to Mercury, and a trine to Neptune. We're happy campers. We're liking what's going on. Things are as we imagine them, moon parallel Neptune. And circumstances are relatively pleasant. The energy is charged. If you're talking with people and discussing things, you're liking what they have to say. You're finding out things you hadn't known, etc. Sunday evening ends on a full moon just short of midnight, about 13 degrees of Scorpio, midway through that sign. And this is one of the more powerful full moons of the year. It's in the sign of its detriment, and it doesn't fare quite as well in that position. Those emotionally controlling issues can come through, and or we're having to contend with financial issues that leave us feeling a little tight. So, quite the weekend, back and forth with the lunar parade throughout the course. Fairly good communications going on Friday evening. Pleasant as we enter the void of course moon period at 10 o'clock on Saturday. The afternoon is fairly pleasant on Saturday, and the afternoon is pleasant on Sunday as well, leading into the power of the full moon Sunday evening. Well, that's about it. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and best you can, have a good one, everybody.